bit of a roadblock there at the door, don't we, T-Rex? Good morning. Oh, it looks very pretty. Go ahead, Steve. Let's go. 37 degrees. Third morning in a row with very cold air, even though yesterday we got close to 70 in the afternoon. April 25th. Sunshine. Just past full moon. Very low tide. When you have a full moon or a new moon, your low tide is at sunrise and sunset, and your high tide is at midday and midnight. I gotta hide from the wind a little bit here. Nice plane going north of the flag, well, above the flag. Air from the north this morning. Yes, this is cold air advancing, cold air advection, whatever you want to call it. It got cold last night. And the prize goes to the summit of Mount Washington. It was a lower barometer cold, so it was colder up in the sky, in the wind, 1.6 degrees at 2:20 a.m. And that is a record lowest April 25th temperature ever in our life on top of Mount Washington. The old record was +3 in April 25th, 1956. And then Tom pointed out that it was 12 degrees at Saranac Lake this morning. I looked up the record. It was 10 on April 25th, 1956. So you can say this is probably one of the coldest April 25ths since 1956. Should I try and do the math on that? Let's see. 44 plus 24, 68 years. Does that sound about right? Any 68-year-old fans in here want to confirm that? So much to talk about. Really kind of serious, though, when you get to these temperatures. 19 in Fryeburg, Maine this morning. A lot of 27s out there. Everyone's been talking about how 27 is the critical number for fruit farmers, your apples and peaches and such that are in bloom already, with the flowers coming out a couple of weeks early, and then you get this relatively average late season freeze. So the fruit farmers are probably not pleased with this. You hear a lot about the damage to farms, yet every fall we do manage to find some apples, so it doesn't hit everyone as hard. Another cold morning coming up tonight, but last night it was with the wind. Oh yeah, what is wind? Thank you, Ben. You know, Ben was one of the graduates of the Launch Your Weather Career class that we do every summer at the Blue Hill Observatory, and it's great to see you guys on television. And he goes, what is wind? Surf ski weather. That's what I always teach the kids. What is wind? Air moving from high to low pressure. And this morning, there's a 1030 millibar high. That's about 30.4 inches over Ontario and Quebec. And there's not that deep a low. It's only 1,000 millibar low. What's that? About, I don't know, 30 inches or so, 29. Anyhow, the wind is gusting to 48 miles an hour at North Point on Prince Edward Island. Remember, a week ago, we talked about the potential for a major snowstorm in the Northeast here on Thursday, April 25th. Talked about it so many days in a row, and just like the one that we thought maybe happened last Saturday, again, the 5 to 10 day guidance did a very poor job. And although there is a storm, it's a lot weaker and a lot further away than the guidance had it. And just like with that last Saturday situation. What do you see, T-Rex? What's down there? All kinds of stuff growing fast. Things growing like animals and bushes. And all right, what do we want to talk about? Let's see. Covered the cold. Blue sky is a result of confluence aloft. When the air up high in the sky, the jet stream is confluent. That means it comes together. It pushes down and sinks. That makes high pressure and blue sky. When the air aloft is difluent, that is when, say, you have a jet stream where there's this jet max of 75 or 80 knots, and then on either side of it there's weaker wind, that causes updraft, and that causes the things like we had yesterday with those thunderstorms, which I'll get to in a minute. But anyhow, if you go to the 500 millibar chart, you can see the areas of confluence and difluence. There's the upper level low north of New England with confluence on the backside of it, and that's sinking air and blue sky. And then in the southwestern United States, you have an upper level low coming off the Baja Peninsula into the southwestern United States, and that's going to generate difluence aloft, and a severe weather outbreak is going to occur starting today. And then there's another upper level low that comes through there tomorrow, and yet a third impulse on Sunday. So we're going to have days of severe weather in the western United States, with cold air coming into the northwest and very warm to hot air and humid air coming out of Texas. It is the season for people that actually take vacations to storm chase, and it's going to be a big week for tornadoes. On one hand, it's a thrill. On another hand, it's deadly. So, you know, Mother Nature's like that. Sometimes you can't look away, and as you'll see in more today with my time lapse, I could not look away yesterday. I spent a long time waiting for the squalls. All right, we're going down here to secure the cat. You don't really want to get in there, Steve, because it's dirty. I need a new fire pit, that's for sure. That one is full and old. And my garden is doing fine. I don't get the freeze because I'm next to the water. However, tonight, with radiational cooling, I will probably get down close to 32 degrees. It's 42 in the sun. The sun's been up now for almost 3 hours. Oh, can't look away. All this fun stuff going on. Pretty fast, pretty high. So you saw a couple of condensation trails there. That just means that there's a tiny bit of moisture up there in the atmosphere. But the fact that they disappear so fast means we're in for a couple of nice days here. The high pressure is going to come in. Now let's go to the Euro surface map sequence. This is all one take. And going forward, there's the high coming right over us tonight. Tomorrow morning, radiational cooling. Another morning of record low temperatures. Oh, pause. I didn't show you the record lows from today. From 33 in Decatur, Illinois, to about 27 in Bar Harbor, Maine. Record cold underneath the southern end of this high pressure system today. And we'll probably have record cold again tomorrow. All right, now let's keep going forward. The high is going to gradually settle off to the south. We get some showers coming through here Saturday night. Meanwhile, you see low pressure one after another coming from the southwestern United States up through the plains with severe weather outbreaks each afternoon. And these lows are going to go north of us. And then Monday and Tuesday, we get some spots I still believe in western New England are going to be 80 degrees on Monday and maybe Tuesday too now. That front looks like it's going to drag its heels a little bit with a few showers and a scattered thunderstorm here next Tuesday. And then it looks like we're going to have kind of quiet weather. And then the next chance of more significant rainfall looks to be about next Thursday or Friday. Now we're getting it to be May, 3rd. I think Friday's the 3rd. And somewhere in there. May 4th and 5th. May 4th and 5th. Next weekend. You know what that is? Brewster in bloom on Cape Cod. Now, the daffodils bloomed a couple weeks ago. We saw it, and there's Chowan and Anson. Happy birthday, Anson. Turned 3 last Sunday. And your grandmother, Nancy Hecking, turned 90 this week. Couple of birthdays on Cape Cod. And while I have you, my Cape Cod friends, there's Lincoln with a 33-inch striped bass caught out of Bass River from the shore this week. It's legal. It's legit. You guys are the best sharing these images. I'm a little jealous. In my entire life fishing there in Fallons Pond, I've never seen a striper this big coming right out from in front of the house down there. My dad talked about them, but I never saw them. I guess the harder you work, the luckier you are, and you guys are out there all the time. So well done there. Well, what else? Nantucket is having daffodil days beginning today, so it's daffodil celebration time. We celebrate flowers. That's what we do. And there are my pussy willows looking fine, taking root. And I did put the cages up on the peony. Can't wait for the peony. They come and then they go so fast. And anyhow, colorful cages, aren't they? All right, so I spent a lot of time yesterday up on the deck up there trying to get the sequence of the thunderstorms that may come in, and there were a couple of them. The first one I did for an hour about 4 o'clock. Not much happened with that one, but the second one was more interesting. There's the radar at about 5 o'clock, and then there's the radar, 5 o'clock, and you could see another one was coming right at us. So I actually went to the store and left my camera on the tripod up there, and the tripod ended up falling over. So the Enmore from yesterday, just kind of anticipating when it was in the 60s with sunshine in the middle of the day, we knew that it was going to be very unstable. It was actually snowing on the top of Mount Mansfield yesterday. Thank you, Sterling, for that tip, and I saw it on that new WCAX cam. At the same time, it was snowing up there, and also, yeah, it was snowing at your house, Josh, at the lodge there in Montgomery, Vermont. At the same time, it was snowing in Vermont. The sun was out down here, and we were 65 to 70, and then the squall came through. So our Enmore is TK playing time lapse, and the tripod actually fell over, and I guess that's going to be in there. How much rain did we get? 0.02. 0.02 from all of that. All right, that's it for today's weather. And now here's Enmore. Talk to you tomorrow. Oh, wait, just before the Enmore, I forgot to talk about the rainbows yesterday, the rainbow chase that went on. Saw a tiny one here, but Mary in Hanover, that's beauty. And also Christine in Holden, right? Gorgeous. Look at those colors. You're a professional photographer. And the Bruins game last night. Partial to number 63. It was the year I was born. And what a great goal and win in Toronto last night. The Celtics need a little work. And the Red Sox got a shutout in Cleveland. That was good. Love that dirty water. Oh, yes, and Martin, I called it grackle. No, I called it a crackle, and you corrected me. It's a grackle that loves the flagpole. All right, now to the regularly scheduled and more and more and more. Some lightning over southern Vermont right now. You can see the blow off on the top of a cloud. That's not southern Vermont. I think southern Vermont's more over there, but nice, beautiful interval right here. Finally changed the rain gauge, 1.69 between April 6th and April 22. It's electric. What's that? You know it's not a monarch. It's a pretty moth, right? Where are you going? Pretty moth. Going over to see Lucy? Okay. There come the clouds. Pretty. It's going to be fun. Me, Jason, Steve. What's going on down there? It's 4:50, Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. A nice dark cloud going over your house, Dennis, there in Winthrop. You can see the planes landing at Logan. And the snow level's probably at about, I don't know, 4,500 feet. Bottom of that cloud's probably more like 4,000. So there are ice crystals up in them there clouds, but it's 63 degrees or so with a nice land breeze right here. What do you say we start a little time lapse? On the southern edge of a cell that mostly missed us to the north. Just check the temperature of Mount Washington is down to 16 degrees. The wind of 55 miles per hour. Fropa. Cold front going by. There's another batch of precipitation way out there over western Worcester County. So Essex County, Hampden County, getting the good precip now. Interesting looking tug. I haven't seen that guy before that I remember. Anyhow, interesting day. Just a couple of raindrops, and it was about 65 degrees when this thing started. All right, Live at 5 starting just now. I'm gonna go listen to that on the radio. There's a really tall cumulonimbus behind those lower ones. You can't really see the top of it. You can kind of make it out in the background. It's going across Lancaster, Pilot Pete's house. Are you getting it? He says, thunderstorms never hit my house. Yep, people that like thunder always say that. So I'm gonna try and do another one, and I'm gonna do a little bit more of a focus on Boston. See the edges of my video? What's going on with that? This is a new camera. Bummer. What is that? Anyhow, I'll watch them bubble over Boston. .516 update. I want to just change the view a little bit because you can make out the top of that almost anvil-like cloud northwest of Boston right now. Beautiful. So that one Wouldn't call it a supercell, but it's definitely more robust, let's say. Where the other clouds are at around 8,000 feet, that one looks like it goes up to maybe 10 or even higher, 12,000 feet. And if we go over here for a second, you can see another example of that. So not very organized, very unstable, very cold air aloft. And snowing on Mount Washington for a few hours, but disjointed. At one point, a week ago, the Euro had a big snowstorm for tonight in New England. Then it lost it, and the GFS had it. So there was no model that really won. I'd say the Euro probably for losing it when the GFS was gaining it. All right, back to this 19 minutes in. See what that does. I'm gonna go to the store and buy some birdseed. I'll be back. Oh no, what happened? Everybody okay? Got the birdseed. Looking a little bit like the Wizard of Oz out here right now. Darn. Where did the camera go over? Anyhow. So that's the draft right there. See the black bottom cloud? That's descending air. Those are torrents of precipitation coming down. And that's the downdraft right there. And that's what we're getting now, the downdraft. And winds gusting over probably 40 miles an hour. So I would qualify this as a squall. We are getting a squall in Weymouth. No lightning. The heaviest rain is often right when it's just about to end on the backside. Should I try and set the camera back up for some more? Turn it off for a second to get a picture. Bunch of forsythia flowers ripped off the branches. Blowing and drifting forsythia. And then there's that gift that's been wrapped around its mooring all winter. Alright, there's the sun. And there's the rain cloud. And there's a tiny little rainbow there. Out of Fort Point. Blossoms on the ground. Still windy. Frontal